My name is Jody Geenan. I live at 1511 Primrose Lane, West Bend, Wisconsin. I'm from District 1, and I agree with everything that Marietta said. I also know that right now we are trying to move forward with the schools and trying to figure out how we can get the kids back to normal. And I feel like having our city buildings go backwards and now mandate something that we weren't mandating for the public is going to make the schools kind of step backward as well. So they're doing things like mask and motion and whatever to try to get us used to so we can maybe eventually get to the normal. Why would we want to go backwards? I know that there are at least 2 large churches in our city, and I'm sure there's more. I only know of the 2 for sure because I attend both of these churches that do not require masking. So most people go to church and don't mask, and we don't even have social distancing where it's every other pew. People pack in together, every pew or whatever, and so if the masks really worked, or we were really in danger, if we weren't wearing them, I would think that by now in West Bend, we would have had some horrible new pandemic thing going on just from even these couple churches that are doing it. I know there's schools that when the mask mandate was dropped that are private schools that some of the kids that I babysit for, they don't have to wear masks there either. And again, with all the different families coming from different areas, if this was something that was going to harm our health, we would be seeing numbers rising in West Bend. So I think...
thank you for your comments. I just want to keep it concise.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Mary Wigand. I live at 5629 Colleen Lane in the town of Trenton. We were previously in the city, but however, we do go to the library in West Bend. My husband is a contractor. He needs to go to the city to get building permits, as well as anything else that we would have to do with city government. I appreciate the city and the government. I think this is where the rubber meets the road. I am an RN. When I worked in a hospital, I refused the flu vaccine under religious conviction because I won't allow poisonous toxins to be injected into my body, which is the temple of the Holy Spirit. I was given a flu exemption. I had to wear a mask one year. The next year I didn't have to wear a mask, and I asked why. And the reason was, they told me, because there's no evidence that masks do anything. This was just a couple of years ago. So, no evidence that masks do anything. I don't mean to offend anyone, but you all look very foolish up there with your masks on. We are being played, and I would ask that West Bend needs to rise above that. Thank you.
My name is Jamie Dutcher, and I'm in District 1. We live at 1010 Mulberry Drive East, West Bend. Myself and my family fully support exactly what these people are saying about masks. I'll keep it very brief. I ask you to look at states that have fully opened up. No masks, no mandates, and they're doing far better than states that try to take our freedoms away and infringe on our rights. I ask you to vote no for this.
Good evening, Bart Williams, 2420 Skyline Drive, speaking on behalf of my family and myself. CDC has misled us for a long time. If you look on their website under Table 3, comorbidities, they acknowledge that all death certificates that list COVID at all as any contributing cause of deaths is counted as a COVID death. So instead of 550,000 deaths, we're really talking about 35,000 because there might be heart attacks, obesity, diabetes, emphysema, etc. If you can really look on the website, if COVID is listed at all as a contributing factor of death, even if it's the 5th reason, they count that as a COVID death. So they've greatly exceeded and overstated the number of COVID deaths. Where else would we allow this type of inaccuracy that has had huge harms by 1,600%? I'm not kidding you, Table 3 of the comorbidities. So we've really overstated it, just as the previous woman said. What's the cause, what's the harm of all this? No big deal, right? Actually, there is. Thousands of small businesses have failed across our state. Trillions of our hard-earned tax dollars have been misallocated chasing COVID when it's been way overstated. National debt has skyrocketed. Domestic violence has increased. Suicide deaths have soared. Kids have lost a year of schooling, et cetera, et cetera. And just to give you one good example of how crazy this has gone, high school wrestlers are required to mask during matches. Now, I know about that because I was a high school wrestler. Those 3 2-minute falls that you face during your match are the most intense 6 minutes of your life. It is total exertion trying to beat the other guy. So when we're doing this, we're just continuing on with this craziness. Look, if people want to mask in our public buildings, that's fine, they can mask. We're asking you not to mandate this for everyone. We've dropped a lot of this. The Supreme Court ruled against it. Let's keep moving in the direction of freedom and liberty and making this a choice, not a mandate. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bernie Newman, 1504 Meridian Avenue. With COVID numbers improving, the vaccine out there, I'm just not sure why the city is choosing to get more restrictive. If you want to wear a mask, you can wear a mask. You can get the shot if you want, but why get more restrictive on the public? I just urge to vote no on this.
Thank you. My name is Rob Schaefer. Obviously, I'm a battalion chief with the City of West Bend Fire Department. I'm also the medical examiner in Washington County in 2014. I'm the lead investigator and the department head of the medical examiner's office as well. I'm not speaking so much on behalf of the fire department or on the county or any of my official capacities, but I am speaking on behalf of myself as a person with a degree in physiology, as a person with a degree, a master's in public health. Getting your master's in public health from a Tier 1 research institution during a pandemic is both very convenient and very eye-opening. When we talk about mandates, really health mandates are there to protect those in the highest risk categories from those who feel that they are not at risk. COVID-19 is caused by a virus. That virus is transmitted through the air. There is no denying that scientific fact. There is no denying the fact that any barrier will shield you from anything coming at you. X-rays are shielded by a barrier. Specific X-rays are shielded by a piece of paper. Is it 100%? Absolutely not. Does it still work? Sure, to some degree. The mixed arguments that we want to make regarding COVID-19 is not so much what protections we take, but how effective they are on what population. The gentleman who points out Table 3, that COVID-19 is mixed with many comorbidities. Absolutely it is. Those people are just as dead. I've watched a number of death certificates being signed out by individuals with no medical training, and it is true. Some of the death certificates are overstated, but that has nothing to do with COVID-19. It has everything to do with the system of death investigation and the education of the people signing the death certificates. What we need to do with COVID-19 is refocus on what it is. It's a pathogen. It is a virus. We don't need to argue how good masks work or why masks don't work or that we're protected through our religious convictions. What we know is in places with vaccines, people who are vaccinated are much less likely to get COVID-19. Is it a 100% guarantee? Absolutely not. But it's better than nothing. Everything you can do in building your defenses against any virus is one extra way to protect yourself and to protect those who truly need the protection. I don't need the COVID-19 vaccine for me. I'm 52 years old. I have absolutely no comorbidities. I have the COVID-19 vaccine in me to protect my family and to protect every patient that I see who has those comorbidities. So if we want to talk about what the vaccine is for, what the masks are for, and who we're working for in the COVID-19 pandemic, we should embrace a religious ideal, and we should go ahead and love our neighbors like we love ourselves and want to protect them more than we want to protect ourselves, want to protect them more than we're interested in our own personal civil liberties.